This is the Cow Corner, guys. Your cricketing podcast, and this is your host Prashant, and I'm here with Jatan.
Hey guys.
You know, we have been trying to keep up with our conversations with the summer heating up. It's good time, by the way. Summer is always a good time. I mean, if you're in northern hemisphere, this is summertime. If you're in the southern hemisphere, then it's kind of fall, winter time. So summer means cricket, right? Actually, these days, spring, summer, fall, winters, a lot of cricket going on. And right now, I'll tell you, my head is, I'm a little bit angry, a little bit depressed, a little bit dejected, a little bit cynical, little bit also actually hopeful. And then and I'm thinking, okay, you know, am I or are we cricket podcasters who like to talk about cricket regardless of who's winning or losing, or do we have this, hey, Indian cricket fans at heart? The reality is, you know, the truth, as they say, is somewhere in the middle, right,
Exactly.
Jatan?
It's a bit of both.
Yeah, I guess both. So we have few topics to consider or discuss today. Siddharth couldn't join us today. It's fine. I think at some point we'll get back into our rhythm of all three of us being on the pod. Again, we are planning a few guests, so definitely during the week we'll line that up. You know, a couple of interesting takers actually to be on our podcast for guests. So we'll definitely have a fun with that. But three things, Jatan, right, we should discuss, I feel. One is India-England, and I mean the men's India-England. And after the India-Ireland T20, what was supposed to be a really fiery matchup and should be fun to get the summer stuff going, followed by the other India-England story that's happening in the women's test match at Lord's, which is, it just has a very different feel, right, Jatan, for you and I and for Siddharth. Test match at Lord's.
First women's test match at Lord's.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And last but not the least, the breaking news of Bazball coming to an end. Or is it? Like, I want to actually chat with you about that. So
It's absolutely coming to an end.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how. So I have a few questions for you on that. Okay, so the first up is India-England T20 series. Okay, India being the world champions again, at the top of their game. They have the best T20 team, just like the Australians had for the ODI. Blah, 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 and blah. Then they go to Ireland. Blip there. Lose to Ireland, you know, maybe encourage the other teams. Next up is England. 4-0. Oh my God. What are your thoughts, Jatan, on that? Is just another blip or something is up?
No, I think finally, so we've been worrying about, or rather I have been worrying about this for a while, right? The selection, the overall team leadership. So, yeah, I mean, a new captain coming in didn't help, of course. Some of your like Bumrah and Siraj not being there obviously didn't help. But India as a team or as a bench, India's bench strength has been pretty good off late, right? So I don't think the selection or rather the people not being available would have been a problem.
Yep.
I just think that it's I have 3 to 4 reasons why I
Let's
think
go.
We are rather India is in trouble. First, I think I again didn't like the selection. We've talked about it before, right? So team selection is probably the biggest reason I feel we are where we are.
But T20 also? T20 selection. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, I don't think people like Harshit Ranas should be in the team. I don't think Vaibhav Suryavanshi should be in the team because he's just too young. And then once he's in the team, you have the pressure. So it's team selection and the 11 selection, right? Now that you have Suryavanshi in the team, the entire country is asking, why don't you play him? And then of
Yeah.
course you fall for that pressure, and then you brought him in, and then whom did you put out?
Sanju
For what?
Samson.
Exactly, and he had he was the most terrible batsman in the lineup, obviously, right? Because you put him out, right? So
Has to be.
we've done this before. India has done this before, right? To accommodate some in some cases a senior player, you drop people who had didn't do any wrong. You change their position in the order. Has happened since 90s, whatever, right? I mean, some instances come to mind, but I'll leave it at that. But you want to bring your Vaibhav Suryavanshi in, so you take out Samson. It's just ridiculous. And Archer just showed why Suryavanshi is not probably ready for top-notch cricket, right? At least I don't think he is. I think he's a great batsman. As I said, right? When he plays, everybody stops and wants to watch. That's what he did in the IPL. But what he's probably slightly undercooked to start playing in England or any of the other countries where there is bounce in the wicket. So Archer exposed his short ball issues.
Let me play devil's advocate. Didn't mean to interrupt you, Jatan, but let me play devil's advocate, right? So the question is, I am going off of a tangent here maybe a little bit, but when Sachin was young, I remember listening to one of his interviews when he was very young. Hey, you'd be sent to West Indies and are you ready to play them? You know, things like that is almost baptism by fire, meaning just put them out there and see how they do, right? Almost nothing to lose. But then is that the approach? Right, but
No,
you're saying you have things to lose
case,
by doing that.
we had nothing to lose. In Sachin's case, India didn't have anything to lose. Who were the other batsmen? He was the next big thing. Here you have an established top three, right? Who have won you a World Cup recently, right? You have
Sanju
dropped
Samson,
the captain
for
already.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what he did in the finals, right? And it's not about that. He came back into form, right? So I don't think we had India had nothing to lose. India had everything to lose, and I don't
Everything
think
to
it was
lose.
the
Nothing to
right
gain,
decision.
actually. You think
Yeah,
almost
I mean, you
nothing
would
to
have
gain?
won. I guess the only thing you could have gained is that Suryavanshi is the guy who has to now play. I think he's too young. I think 15 is too young. I mean, let him play some Ranji. Let him play some Vijay Hazare. Let him
County
do that.
cricket. I would love to see if
County
he
cricket.
plays for
Why
a
not?
county cricket.
Yeah, let him play county cricket, right? I'm sure all the great counties or the teams of England would want him to be in the team just because it'll just turn up the revenue 10 times, right? So what's this deal with bringing him so early into this whole thing after one good IPL?
So do you think, Jadan? I mean, there is one word that's used in my mother tongue, so to say, is called Vyakti Puja, or in Hindi, Vyakti Puja means personality, or it's actually English translation would be personality cult or hero worship. Exactly, hero worship, right? We're kind of guilty of that. India or Indians are guilty of hero worship.
And here he's not even a hero yet, right? Let him just make some runs on the cricket. He's an IPL guy, right? So and
flat track bullies, Jatan.
Exactly, he is, right? Or that's all he's played. I'm not even blaming him. See, don't get me wrong. I think Suryavanshi is the next big thing in cricket. He could match Sachin Tendulkar for in a lot of ways, right? So definitely he'll go ahead a lot. But I don't think this was the right time to bring him in. I was very worried when he was selected, and I told
you did say that
if he's selected, then they are going to play him.
Yeah,
I don't think he should be playing right now. I'll again repeat, right? What West Indies did with Lara, right? They took him to like Braithwaite had in one of his interviews said that, right? You take him to tours, give him the dressing room experience, let him play in nets, let him play with all the great Indian players, and at some point you bring him in. He was just forced into the team just because we lost a T20. you dropped Samson, and now Samson's not in the Zimbabwe tour. I mean, what if I was Samson? I would quit cricket and start playing in all of these leagues. Maybe I'll make more
Yeah.
money there.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Hmm.
Uh,
What's
why?
interesting is you mentioned give them experience of the dressing room. Again, maybe tongue-in-cheek comment here. Because he's a 15-year-old, he has to go change in a different dressing room.
Yeah.
So even you have to be, jokes apart, you have to take care of. There is a reason why these things still exist, right? Is because maybe someone is too young. So ignoring all the other legalities, I'm 100% with you. Is right. Pick him, but do it in a way. Don't help him succeed. Just to say that.
Yeah.
Just help him succeed. You have someone special, most likely. But then again, flat track bullies. I really like your
Yeah.
term. But then you got to see how they perform abroad. But there are ways to do it. Not just to say, unless you have nothing to lose. That's why I asked that question. What do we have to lose? And, you described it nicely. We have so much to lose of confidence. So
You
much
might
to
lose
in-
confidence. Yeah.
Yeah. Even Sanju Samson, right?
obviously-
You lose a
Exactly.
settled player.
Like
Yeah.
at some point, we were there was speculation that he might be the next T20 captain of India, right? Before Shreyas came into
Yeah.
the picture.
Yeah.
Once Sky was considered kind of not being picked, he was one of the candidates, and now you're just dropping him for just to push this 15-year-old in. I don't get it.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not how professional sports work, frankly. Pakistan makes such decisions. Pakistan's cricket board makes such decisions,
Yeah.
and we are doing the same, bringing uncooked players in, and you know what happens. So that is one thing. And in relation to that, right, my second big problem with how, and I feel the reason why this is happening is again IPL's pitches, right?
Yeah.
The pitches in IPL are really roads, right? Really, they have nothing in them, right? No bounce, no turn, nothing for the bowler,
No
and then you have
movement.
this stupid
Yeah.
no movement, no sideways movement, absolutely.
Sideways,
And
exactly.
and then you have this stupid IPL rule, which is the
Impact
impact
player.
player, right? Yeah. So you stopped generating all rounders. You have created pitches and 14 games, right? 14 games is a lot of games per team, per player to play on those tracks. And 200, 250, 300, I don't know, are getting chased down, right? 256 got chased down or something like that. Shreyas Iyer's team, Punjab, chased that down. So that's not normal, right? It's not normal. Shorter boundaries. So IPL is just a six hitting. It's like a home run derby, right? It's just a
Yeah.
six hitting game, right? I
Contest.
mean, who
Yeah.
can hit more six? That's not fun. I frankly don't watch it at all, but I am getting interested in that because, Suryavanshi is a product of that, and we have so many other good players who are coming out. I really enjoy seeing that. But I mean,
Maybe one of the things, Jatan, is it's the problem of abundance. We have so much. India has so much talent that they shouldn't confuse that with we don't have abundance of management. I think we lack
Yeah,
management skill. They have so much skill, talent as players, but there aren't people who are able to manage them properly. One thing, by the way, I remember, I think at some point Gambhir had said he doesn't care. Only thing he cares about is ICC tournaments. I believe he said something like that. So here is my question then. Like, do these bilateral series don't mean anything anymore? Like, are they saying, you know what, who cares we lose to, because in the end you can rationalize anything. But do you think they'll be like, so what, we lost 5-0 to England, which is most likely what's going to happen. Because what if you do well in the next ICC tournament? Would people would because is that the rationale? And again, I'm trying to see if there is some method to this madness to say, let's just focus on ICC tournaments.
it's possible that that's the case, but prior to this, right, when India won 16 series on the trot,
Yeah.
mindset doesn't change overnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you have the mindset, sure, we are going to experiment a bit in the bilaterals, and you should experiment, sure. Bringing any other player to experiment, We tried Shade Gay and those guys, right? Sure, let's try them. I don't have a problem there. But I had a problem with Vaibhav Suryanshi being brought in for totally different reasons. And second, such mindset doesn't change overnight. Mindset would have been the same earlier also, right? But what happened now? Suddenly, and look at the difference, look at the series, look at the scores of each games. First game, England won with an over to spare. Second game, India 76 all out chasing 201.
Unbelievable.
130 odd runs lost.
Yep.
Right? Third game,
9 wickets.
They 9 wickets in 13.5 overs. They chased 159. And fourth game, India lost by 56 runs, chasing 257. Right. So all of these games, none of them came even close. Maybe the first game did, but not really. 1 over is a big amount. But that's 100%. The closest, and that was 1 over. So none of the games even came close. So the Indian cricket team was totally outplayed both in batting and bowling, right? And that is very rare in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
For that to happen across
for T20
matches. For T20, yeah, of course, we are talking T20. For 4 matches.
Yeah.
On the trot, right? And India has played a lot of series across the world. So I think I don't think I don't think that was the reason that we were experimenting too much or we don't care. I think
systemic issue.
There's some systemic. Yeah, it is. And it's not just selection. Selection is one thing. Change of captain is hard. I mean, I really feel for Shreyas Iyer, right? I mean, we all want him to be successful, and he is a really good player and a leader, right? He has shown that he has enough leadership experience to be successful. So I don't even think it's the captaincy. I think it's a combination of team selection. I think with a new captain, there's more meddling of the coach, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
In 11 selections, selection of the 11, and finally, I feel the team was totally underprepared. Playing 14 games or 16, 17 games in IPL on such tracks, and then you first come to Ireland where you can't. What were the reasons? I read afterwards. They couldn't handle the wind. That was one reason. The wind was too much. Okay. And they couldn't handle the ground dimensions. The grounds were not totally circular. What are we talking about?
This reminds me of, by the way, and I don't know, you may feel this as a very specific reference. This reminds me of what our transit system always complains about. My transit system would be, oh, today was too hot. Oh, today was too cold. Oh, today it was raining. Or we had leaves on the track. There's always, when you're not succeeding, you come up with these ridiculous reasons. And for a seasoned team like
we
India,
expected something, but nothing.
There was nothing.
So that was it.
So you think they were underprepared, Jatan?
Absolutely underprepared and obviously overconfident because of when you're trying to chase 257 or 250 in IPL and you're able to chase it easily with 1 over to spare, then you think that you can pretty much do anything on any pitch. No. ICC pitches for the World Cup were better, right? You have those kind of pitches, right? Don't have these flats. And some extra bounce, some sideways movement, you get caught. You get caught like a deer in the headlights, right?
Big difference.
So those are the small differences, right, which happen.
I guess where do we go from here? Where does India go from here? Or do you think there is a bit of a panic right now, or a little bit of concern? And of course, as a sports fan, you always talk about the curse. Is this the curse of the sky above?
About Sky, I'll come back to him, but not cricket related. But so, where do we go from here? I think I don't know if there is only one way, which is upwards, because unless we fix things, I don't think they might be further down. But and BCCI is saying they are going to do they are going to figure out, they're going to find out what happened. But my other rant or problem with BCCI is that, sure, they'll do the investigations or whatever and they'll find out. But as a fan, I will never be told what was found out. That is the other problem.
Transparency.
As a fan, I'm so invested in this. We are like ranting here, and probably, obviously, we know we can't do anything about it. We are like miserable, stupid fans. But I will not even know what was found out, what was the reasons, what steps are being taken, nothing. Just for the next series, there will be another selection, and some people will be picked, some people will be dropped. Somebody will be the fall guy. I'm sure maybe some Sanju Samson will be the fall guy. Right?
Yeah, again.
Because he destroyed the team, right? So, yeah, they'll probably
Interesting.
persist with
Yeah,
Rajvanshi.
yeah.
So yeah, it's ridiculous. So I don't even know where we are going from here.
I guess we'll find out. So that was our first up topic. India's T20. See, again, I was wondering that day, and I'm like, am I just a fair weather fan? When we were doing well, when India was doing well, I was like, wow, that team is amazing. But we could feel it though, Jatan, right? We still feel something is up in selection. And
Yeah.
even in the World Cup, there were few matches like the one against India and US match, right? Sky kind of saved India. What if couple of those decisions went differently? It might
Yeah.
have been a completely different story of India's World Cup.
Exactly.
So the other India-England thing that's going on, right, is the women's test match, and we just finished last week the women's T20 World Cup, which I thought was really fun. Granted, India didn't make the semifinals, but West Indies, South Africa, Australia, and England did. And Australia final kind of was one-sided eventually. Australian team is just that good.
Yeah, with Australia, it's just inevitable almost.
Correct.
They're even better than probably the Australian men teams of the
The ODI
1990s
dominance.
and the 2000s. Yeah.
Well, I was I wasn't prepared for this 4-day test in Lords between India and England, which I thought was, again, last time we talked about different memories of India's even limited overs women's cricket team playing at Lords. So it was great to see that test match being played, 4-day test, and India there seemed to be doing really well. Couple of things I want to point out, right? Obviously, Yastika, she scored 100. So I wonder whether her name would be on the board next time we go visit Lords, right? Look.
The first two Indians whose names will be on the board will be Yastika and God, right?
God.
So
Exactly.
for a fifer,
Exactly.
you can't take that away from. the
Correct.
first Indians to be
Kranti.
on the board. Yeah.
So Kranti God. Yeah. And she might pick up a couple more actually. Who knows? She might get a fifer. Still 4 wickets to go, and she has taken 2 already in the second innings. So, one thing I have to say, if you haven't seen the highlights, and this is for anybody who's listening to the podcast, if you watched day 3, in the tail end of day 3, watch the catch that Richa Ghosh she took of Villiers. Not De Villiers, but Villiers. Unreal. And I can do a spoiler for you, Jatan, here. But the catch is, so Richa Ghosh is fielding in Silly Point, right? And Villiers has a drive. And usually when you're driving to a spinner, usually the Silly Point is kind of cringing, right?
Yeah.
Either they're jumping or they're doing.
Turning
Richa
around.
Ghosh just stood there as if she's a wicket keeper and took a catch right on her knee in her palms, and the time was like 0.14 second or something. And it wasn't
Wow.
even like something fluke that sat. If she was shot mid-off, that would have been a spectacular catch. She was literally close to the bat, and it just happened, and we were like, whoa, what happened? It's not like the ball hit her knees or some part of the body popped up and somebody caught, right? That's usually happens here. She took a clean catch. Her hands hurt, definitely, but you could see that as a classic, just stay low, stay focused, don't give up, and take that catch. Fascinating. Absolutely
Right. And
fascinating.
it kind of broke a resisted
partnership.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, 60 odd runs.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
interesting.
definitely watch. If you haven't seen, and I'll encourage anyone, if you haven't seen
I
that,
would
just watch
definitely.
that catch. Just like unbelievable. And it was a big smile. And she's also a wicket keeper, right? Richa Ghosh is also a wicket keeper. I think she is a wicket keeper. So they say, it's always good to have a wicketkeeper who was like fielding, you could see the skills as if she is behind the wickets,
Yeah, they're
staying
probably
low.
not as scared as a usual fielder at silly point, maybe.
Yeah, unbelievable. So you should definitely watch that. So, I mean, day 4 is tomorrow, which is Monday. India is, I think, all set to win that test match. So
Yeah,
really awesome for Indian
it's
cricket.
amazing.
The way
Like,
women cricket is doing.
especially the second innings, 341 for 7 declared, and with obviously Yastika making 100, and
Yeah,
even Smriti, Harmanpreet
Mandana.
doing their bit as
Yeah,
usual. Especially Harmanpreet has kind of come back, looks like, right? I mean, she was
yeah,
not really in good form for the last couple of years, but even in the World Cup and now, really happy for Harmanpreet to probably win a test match at Lords as captain. That'll be nice.
that's
So basically, on day 4, England need 327 runs and only 4 wickets in hand. So, bearing something very spectacular, this should wrap up in the first session, hopefully. Um,
yeah,
and coming to Kranti God, right?
yeah.
So I saw her, I think, like a few months back or a year back in one of the series. I don't remember exactly. And she did look that she would belong, right? It's still too early, too early days, and especially in India hardly plays any test matches, right, in the women's. So, but I would be really curious to see how she does, right, in all kinds of all the different formats. But she's one to watch out for. Yeah, Kranti God, a good, really good,
Definitely.
yeah, really good. Not a replacement, but like the next generation. Uh, for Indian fast bowlers or medium pacers. Renuka was obviously a pioneer. Obviously, the pioneer probably was Goswami, but Renuka
Yeah.
carried it forward, and now Kranti Gaud and Sayali Sadgare, right? Both of them taking it forward. So yeah, looking forward to that.
We talked about Julan Goswami last time. That
Yeah,
that interesting episode of the run out. I think that was her
yeah,
last match at Lords. So a lot of interesting women's cricket that happens at Lords. So maybe
yeah,
next time we should plan, Jatan, to go and watch some women's cricket
yeah. The next
at,
test
at
match
at
maybe.
Lords. Yeah, and Richa Ghosh is a wicketkeeper batsman. And again, I'm saying it again and again. Definitely watch that catch. Haven't seen anything like this
Oh
before.
wow, yeah,
So yeah, it was really fantastic catch to watch. So good. The Indian men's team is absolutely in the shambles right now. It seems that the women's team is doing really well, which is really awesome, awesome, awesome. We'll follow them more and more going forward. Last but not the least is the inevitable happen, right? Once Ben Stokes said he's
yeah,
stepping down, we knew that as a test coach manager, Brendan McCullum's time was up. Most
yeah.
expected, but it would have been really interesting if he actually stayed on. Here's my question for you. Okay. Yeah, you can say Bazball is done, or is it? Or is Bazball now like a brand, right? Sometimes you say, I'm going off in a tangent a bit. When you say, I'm making a Xerox copy, Xerox becomes synonymous with photocopying, right? So doesn't matter which brand, which photocopier you're using. You're saying I'm making a Xerox copy. So you think another coach will come and they'll still play Bazball, or you think the issue is with the approach, implementation, or what? Do you think the next coach that comes, and you're hearing all kinds of names, including Rahul Dravid, which would be really interesting if Dravid becomes the captain? It seems he said he has no interest. It seems, but what do you think? You think it's a
I
brand?
want.
Yeah,
Yeah, before I come to that, I really want maybe they somehow love and like and pick up Gautam Gambhir as their coach. So that would mean he's not the coach of the Indian team anymore. That
win-win
would be the best.
situation.
And I'll support England for the next 5 years in all formats if that happens.
Yeah,
But
I hear
anyway,
you. I
coming
hear you.
coming back to so uh, I think, see, whether it'll happen or not, I don't know. I think this was conceived not by the ECB, but mainly by McCallum as well as Stokes, right? They were on the same page, and this is something that was conceived by both of them together. I think the name was Bazball because, McCallum's nickname is Baz, but I think Stokes was equally into it, and they were partners in crime or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely entertained the cricketing world for the last 5 years. Absolutely, I was entertained, even though because of Bazball, India did not really win the previous series, right? Where
Yeah.
the fourth match happened in the next year, and it was somehow part of the same series.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'll continue or not. If Harry Brook becomes a captain, maybe it will. But I really feel whether it should continue or not. I don't think so. Like, what have they won with this format? With
Not a
this
whole
approach?
lot, actually. I was
The,
looking at the stats, right? Not a whole lot.
not at
Spectacular
all.
wins.
Nothing.
Nothing.
They have not
Yeah.
won at Ashes. They have not won against India. They had two chances to win against India in England. Forget about
Yeah.
in India, but in England, and they couldn't. Right? They have not won an Ashes with this. So what have they achieved with this? With this, sure, they have
Hmm.
entertained people. Sure,
Yeah.
yeah, but there are other formats of entertainment also, right? You want to be entertained, but at the end of the day, you want to win also, right? For your fans.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Bazball would continue. And to take your example, right? Xerox became synonymous because it did something right,
Mm.
right? Bazball isn't
Otherwise, they
doing
would have
anything
shed
right.
the brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So maybe it could continue. Maybe Harry Brook has different ideas. Maybe the new coach uh, makes better decisions. I still feel Bazball could work if there were some decisions that were taken better, like some slightly temper it down. Right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, I don't
Implementation,
think they
right?
have.
Better
Yeah,
implementation, and
yeah,
not get too carried away. Maybe they got carried
yeah,
away because I think they had home success, more home success than away. Recently, not even home success. When that
yeah.
happens, then you're like, wait, you're not even winning at home, you're not winning away. Something is up, and you can see match after match, match after match. You feel that more wishful thinking is coming in. It's becoming more wishful thinking, is more
Yeah.
becoming very predictable. You're almost getting driven by the strategy than you
Correct.
driving the
I,
strategy.
I'll give you an example, right? Very good
Yeah.
example of where it pretty much screwed up. Again, the fourth. I keep going back to the fourth Test match between India and England, right? England were
Yeah.
up to one, right? Root and
Yeah.
Harry Brook were
Harry
doing their
Brook.
thing, right? Yeah, and really, it was end of day four, right? Normal cricketing sense would tell you that okay, let's just move on. Fifth morning, we're going to get this over with without losing another wicket. And Brook played that ridiculous shot. I mean, what was that? Like, I just don't get it. And that's where too much sticking to the strategy blindly, right? Uh,
Yeah.
brought their downfall. Sure, after that they had a chance, right? Who can forget Wokes coming out with a broken hand and all of that? A lot of courage there, but really, really England didn't really need to reach that point. Root
Mm.
being Root would have held one end, and Harry Brook, they could have just made those 40 odd runs, right?
Mm.
They lost, rather they lost. They were prevented from winning a series, right? They couldn't win the series just because of that rash shot, and
Mm.
that has happened time and again, right? In Ashes, who was that guy? I forget.
Jamie
Playing that
Smith.
rash shot, Smith, exactly, right? Smith playing that rash shot
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
lose one of the games in this
And,
series.
and that was actually, you bring back those memories. We have talked about Ashes to Labuschagne, I think. He got
Yeah,
out to
exactly.
Labuschagne.
Exactly.
That
Bazball tells
Hathoda
you
shot.
hit
That
hit
Hathoda
hit
shot.
Labush trial hitting Labuschagne out and then getting out to him. So
Ridiculous.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can always say that it has provided us all the entertainment and a couple of matches they have won because of that, but they just lost too many games because of that. So
Mm.
when you compare the wins versus the losses, right? There are just too many losses because of rash shots being played, stupid reasons, decisions being made. again,
Who
Stokes
will
opening
replace?
the batting on the
Yeah,
last.
yeah. That I
yeah,
couldn't
all of
believe
that.
that. And I'm like, wait, is that mean you are? This was the last day? I'm like, no, this wasn't even the last day. And if you believe that you can chase down anything, then you actually keep Stokes. You're literally your ace up your sleeve, who can do anything literally. Like he is a superhuman, by the way. Just for the record again,
Yeah.
he's a superhuman being. I mean, just unbelievable. All the long spells he can bowl, absolutely. But if that's the case, why would you bring him as an opener? And this is like to
Yeah.
create chaos. Well, you already have a chaos. It's just so who comes next? Do you think they bring like an Australian strategist or an Indian who is actually, like as I
They're
mentioned
never
earlier,
getting an
I'm
Indian.
getting Dravid.
No,
No?
no, 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 no. They're never getting an Indian for sure. Uh, yeah, maybe an Australian or
Or a
somebody from
Kiwi
England. Yeah.
or South
Kiwi,
African,
they
you bring
yeah.
what's his name? Who was India's manager coach during the 2011
Gary Kirsten.
Gary Kirsten.
Yeah.
Like from Baz to go to like a Zen. Bring a yeah, maybe it'll be interesting to see, right, who they bring. Obviously, as a test coach, because McCullum is still staying on as the white
Still
ball
the white ball coach.
coach. It'll be interesting. Yeah, so a lot happening again in cricket. There's also an ODI thing happening between New Zealand and West Indies, as well in New Zealand. So a lot of cricket again. Yeah, and obviously 2027, which is not that far away, is the ODI World Cup. But yeah, I think just to wrap up, maybe it'll be interesting to see how India continues their selection nightmares and their performance, and it'll be interesting to see how the next series, which is in Zimbabwe. I mean, there's still the fifth T20 and ODIs still to go. No ODIs.
No, the ODIs are there. The fifth. This was the fifth T20. The first one got washed out.
Oh yeah,
That's why
that's
it's
true.
4-0.
Ooh, so it's done. Okay, that's true.
Now the ODIs.
ODIs. Wow. Oh, the Hitman would be back then, I think. Right? Kohli
Yeah.
would be back. Rohit Hit would be back. So it'll be. I mean, hopefully, we'll see some real competitive cricket at least. Right? Not one-sided
Gill would be back
affairs.
as captain.
Gill would
Yeah.
be back as captain. So
Let's see how that changes things.
correct, settled captain. And Gill did really well during the Test series. I mean, he had a phenomenal Test
Yeah.
series in England. Hats off to him.
Yep.
We'll obviously continue to track the women's cricket and who becomes England's next Test coach.
Test coach.
Anyway, anything else, Jatan, before we wrap?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, cool. We'll definitely rope in Siddharth next time. We want to hear a lot of his thoughts, and also want to know what his cricket is going. Right, this is a summer
Yeah.
for him. He's also playing in his little club cricket.
Nice.
Awesome, great.
All right.
Hey, this is Prashant and Jatan, and this is Cow Corner. Ciao.
Keep listening and let
Keep
us know
listening.
how you feel
Exactly.
about it.